Hope everybody is doing well. We are just sitting here. It's a little chilly outside today. Doesn't look like it's going to warm up at all today. But everything going on in the world, I guess it's a good thing to be forced to stay inside, right? A little bit of colder weather. So we will just have to wait and see. I'm a crazy homesteader. Good morning. How are y'all this morning? Fork and allotment. Good morning. Hey, y'all doing over there across the pond? It's just saying it's a little chilly this morning. It's only 34 degrees Fahrenheit this morning. So I don't remember what that is in Celsius, but I know it's chilly. It's close to zero. So, but because I know freezing is 32 degrees is zero, but it's a little chilly. Good morning, Gene. How are you this morning? But we're just sitting inside and relaxing a little bit. I'm getting over a cold. No big deal, just a regular cold. Built on the rock. Good morning. Yep, just getting over a regular cold, and I started feeling pretty poorly last Saturday. I spent all day out in the garden. If you guys have seen my new video, then you've seen that I spent all day tilling and raking and mowing and putting up a fence. Oh yeah. Self-isolation. Miss F's got a cold. Well, I hope she feels better. I know that having a cold and asthma don't help. So, but yeah, it's anyway, I started feeling poorly on last Saturday, and Sunday got a lot worse. So Monday morning I took myself to the doctor, and they tested me and made sure I was negative for that silly coronavirus that's going around. I just wish that people would learn and remember to wash their dadgum hands, you know. Wash your hands, cough into your elbow. If you can't reach your elbow, cough into a dadgum hanky or a towel or something, you know. Let's try and knock this thing out, not spread it. Gene says it's 70 degrees in southeast Louisiana. Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. It I remember when I was living in East Texas, we'd wake up on days like this and it'd be just nice and toasty warm outside. Seasoned Mom, good morning. How are you this morning? But this crazy virus, this thing's got people acting the fool. I went to Walmart yesterday. Ouch, 5 days of rain. Fire ants in your raised garden. That is not raised beds. That is not good. Well, I know for some people it's kind of difficult to get the test. I'm lucky. I'm a retired veteran. So I went to the VA. They tested me and gave me my results same day. So, oh, fantastic. Seasoned Mom said she got her germination on her ground cherries. That is awesome. I know, I'm stoked to have mine germinate. Last year I tried 3 different times and they didn't germinate for me. And this year I've got, I don't know, I must have about 7 or 8, maybe 10 little plants going. So I'm hoping they just keep going and getting good and strong, because I love them dadgum things. It's just another snack out in the garden that never makes it to the house.
Dad, can you spell Pink guy, follow me.
No, baby, I can't. Not right now, okay? She's playing Roblox. Is that what you're playing, baby?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I built on the rock when I was in East Texas. I dealt with them fire ants all the time, so I know what you're going through. No medical care in your county. Wow. Yeah, I'm lucky enough that where I'm at right now, I'm 10 minutes from the VA clinic, so that doesn't make it too bad. I'm able to get over there and get what I need. But now that I know that for me, all it was just a regular cold, and the kids have already been home for a week and haven't gone anywhere because the governor closed all the schools. So with her closing all the schools, and the kids don't have any exposure to anything except what I bring in. My wife's a stay-at-home mom. God bless her. She takes the brunt of all this stuff. But my youngest, she got a little bit sick, and now my wife's sick. But since I know that it was just a cold, we're not too worried about it. just getting over them, you know. But excuse me. Now there we go. But since we know it's just a cold, we're not too worried about it. But anyway, I know some other places been getting a ton of rain. I know my mom and pops are in Georgia, and Pop said it's just been raining pretty much every other day there, if not every day, a little bit. And we got a little bit for a couple days. Just I don't even really call it rain. It more like misted all day. It's kind of like being in England. Well, I remember when I was in England, that the day just seemed kind of misty most of the day. But wow, you got no veterinarians out there either, huh? Built on the Rock said, no veterinarians, so I mostly take care of my own animals. Yep, I understand that. I pretty much did that anyway. We had a few veterinarians where I was in East Texas when we had animals, but out here we have them, but right now all we've got's the one dog and one cat, so, and I pretty much take care of them. I give them all their shots. So, but yeah, it's just kind of one of those overcast, ugly days. So I guess we'll just have to make do with what it is and enjoy, right? So, but this I was saying I went to Walmart the other day, and just to pick up a couple of things that I needed, and thank goodness the things that I needed wasn't stuff that people had been going nuts and getting them all, you know. It was crazy, and there was no toilet paper, no paper towels, very little meat, lots of cheese. Seemed like there was tons of cheese, but not a lot of meat. Dairy products weren't too bad. Seemed like the snack aisle was just loaded. I think people forgot that the kids were going to be out of school. You know, forgot about them snacks for the kids. But so I picked up some more snacks for the kids. I had already bought some previous, but Family Dollar has TP, huh? Yeah. For me, I was lucky enough that I live with three women, well, three girls. So my wife and my two daughters. So I'm always buying toilet paper anyway. So I try and stay a minimum of 2 weeks ahead at all times. So for me, it was just a matter of when somebody said that toilet paper was going crazy and disappearing, I went and bought a 12-pack. And then on payday, I went and bought another 12-pack. So, and we weren't out yet, but now I know that we're good to go. So, cream of chicken or cream of celery. Yeah, exactly. There are some good homemade recipes for cream of chicken and cream of mushroom soup that I've made in the past. I think the links to them are on my Pinterest page. I'm not positive, but I think anyway. But give me just a second. I will excuse me. I will put the link to my Pinterest page on here. So just in case you wanted to go check it out, you could check it out. So there you go. Our Pinterest page has a bunch of, I save a bunch of recipes and do-it-yourself recipes and stuff like that. So I love to make the homemade stuff a whole lot better. We make all of our own spice mixes and stuff like that. I just buy the bulk, and we make our own taco seasoning and such like that too. I found a great recipe about 3 years ago that was a Jimmy Dean copycat recipe for the Jimmy Dean sausages, and we really like that a lot. So instead of buying sausage for the last several years, I just buy ground pork, which of course is a lot cheaper. $1.50 a pound compared to $3 on sale for a pound of sausage. And you just add your own sausage mix and, mix it all up and throw it in the fridge overnight, or you can cook it right then. I mean, that's up to you. But I think it imparts a better flavor if you throw it in the fridge overnight and let it sit overnight. Excuse me. But that's just my opinion. But I know some of y'all, a lot of y'all plant gardens and stuff like that. My friend Crystal over at Copper Kettle Farms, she just did a poster for Patriot Gardens, and which is kind of like a throwback to the World War II Victory Garden, which basically is saying that we all need to plant a garden. So kind of like the reason I put on my last
make sure you plant a garden so you will have lots of food.
There you go. That's my 5-year-old Maddie.
And your health, and you'll get lots of food and be strong and healthy.
That's right, baby. The Victory Gardens back in the day when everything was bad and there was shortages. I mean, granted, I know that we're not all going to have a lot of enough time to make all this come to fruition over the next few weeks, but due to the fact that this virus doesn't seem to be showing signs of weakening or going away anytime soon, if you plant now, by the time you plant it, you might, yes, she is. She's very smart. You might be able to get something to come to fruition by that time. Fork and Allotment says going crazy because I can't go to the allotment at the moment. I bet. It's just I'm blessed that my garden's in my backyard. As some of you saw, I tore up a bunch of grass that was in my backyard to expand my garden. My in-ground garden last year was about 10 feet by 12 feet. This year my in-ground garden is 28 feet by 40 feet. So I jumped in size considerably. I went from about 120 feet of in-ground garden to to, I think, about 1,100, a little over 1,100 square feet. So 1,100 square feet is going to make a huge difference. So, and that's not counting the section that I have separated for my tomatoes. We have a section for my tomatoes that's about 45 feet long, right up against a partition fence between my yard and the neighbor's yard. We have a little 4-foot cyclone fence, and so I plant my tomatoes up against that, and then my next door neighbor and I both get to pick tomatoes all year. So I told him last year, I said, anytime there's tomatoes on your side, go ahead and get them. So, and he was excited about that. So, Built on the Rock says, I want to get out and plant. Last night, it was the first night I slept. Thunder terrified the dog and been waking me up. Oh, I believe that. I believe that. Fork and allotment, I have such a small yard, but may have to look at making some raised beds to practice square foot gardening. You might. I mean, this last year, my garden started with some 55-gallon drums, some food grade 55-gallon drums, plastic ones, that I had cut in half lengthways and just screwed to a couple of 4x4s or a couple of 2x4s to start with, and filled with dirt. So that was how my raised beds started this past year. And then I decided I was going to make a couple of like boats. And they're one 55-gallon drum cut in half long lengthways, and one cut a third, a little more than a third, but in half the regular way, short way. And then I put the two long ones out on the ends and the round one in the middle, and just made like a little boat, and screwed those down to some 2x4s and filled those with dirt. And that's how my garden started. And it wasn't, I got my in-ground garden started really late last year. My in-ground garden didn't go in the ground until I think it was the last week of June. So I mean, it was real late going in. I had onions and garlic in my raised bed that I have them in now. And then I had peppers and tomato, one tomato plant, and kale and squash and stuff like that in my raised beds to start with. And then once I started my in-ground garden, I planted a whole bunch of stuff. I planted cucumbers and corn and okra and tons of squash and zucchini. That's mostly what we're going to plant, a lot of squash this year. The zucchini did well, super well for us this past year, but we are going to plant more. So, and I think we're going to shred it and freeze it this year for more for zucchini bread and stuff like that. And my wife and I have found that we really like zoodles, so the zucchini noodles. So we'll probably make a bunch of those too. So, trying to go squash that vines and cucumbers on a trellis. Yeah, exactly. That definitely helps with space. A couple of kiddie pools that need to be retired from duck pools. Yeah, see, that's what I did that too. I have one, I guess it's about a 4-foot kiddie pool that we turned into geez, now I can't think, an herb garden. So the only thing in there that isn't really edible, I guess, is the hollyhock. But I think I'm going to transplant it this year to the side over here on the side of the house. So, but otherwise, last year, almost all the flowers and stuff like that we planted were edible. So you have 4 3-foot by 3-foot raised beds and 4 large in-ground beds, a greenhouse, and a polytunnel at the allotment. Yeah, but you can't go there because of the self-isolation, right? Yeah. Built on the rock, I think they need at least a foot. This past year, I did what most people say can't be done. I started my corn inside in my little bitty greenhouse. I've got about a 30-inch by 30-inch, 6-foot tall greenhouse in the house. And I started my corn in pots and transplanted it, which everybody says can't be done, you know. But I had really good luck with it, and then I transplanted it in ground, and we didn't do bad. Most of what we planted was popcorn, but we didn't do too bad. So you'd plan to pick up new pools after church tomorrow? Oh yeah, but church has been canceled. Absolutely. I know, like I said, our kiddie pool it's about a foot deep, and it's got probably 10 inches of soil in it. I don't know if I'd plant corn in it, but there's a lot of other stuff that I'd plant in it without a doubt, without any problems. I know that for the deep stuff, deep rooted stuff, you need a little more. I mean, like corn gets tall, and I think and it has a tap root, so it goes, down. So but I know that sorry, I'm getting a little more coffee while I got the chance. I always fill my cup up, but I also fill up a thermos. So yeah, see, Fork and Allotment said their corn was transplants last year too. And I know a lot of people disagree with the fact of planting corn that you transplant, but I've always had pretty good luck with it. So, oh, there you go. You were gifted some corn seeds. Outstanding. I have about 6 different types of corn, I think, this year that we're going to be planting. Probably only about 10 to 12 plants a piece. Maybe not quite that many. We'll just have to wait and see. But I'm planting mine in stages, approximately a month apart, so that I don't get any cross-pollination issues. So because corn is one of those natural pollinators, self-pollinators, that the big flower that's up on the top pollinates, and that pollen can drift for miles. So in order to avoid some cross-pollination on mine, we're going to plant it in stages, so that they're about a month apart between the groups of corn, so that maybe we won't get as much cross-pollination. So at least that's the hope. And if we do, we do. But I've got some sweet corn and some Hopi Blue, and I have some glass gem corn, and I've got a sweet corn, and I've got another colored corn that I don't remember what it is, but I'd have to look. I have so many dadgum seeds that we're still kind of deciding what we're going to plant. So, but I know that. Oh yeah, you got the seeds for the Two Families 10K celebration, 10,000 subscribers. That's awesome. Yeah, I wasn't sure what I was going to plant this year. I've got a good layout of what I'm going to plant now. Now I just have to get out to the garden and finish it up. So that some of that may happen today with it being cool. It's probably a good day to get out in the garden and work. If it's going to be raining, then maybe not. But if it decides not to rain, then I'm going out in the garden. So I'll just put on a light jacket, and I got to finish raking up and cutting in my walkways. I'm going to do, I think I've decided on 28-inch beds. I was going to do 30-inch beds, but I think now I've decided to do 28-inch beds because the weed barrier that I have gotten is 6 feet, and rather than only have a foot of play, I'd rather have a couple of inches of leeway. So if using, you can plant around 3 seeds per square foot, although some books and websites say only 1 per square foot. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Some say you can do intense square foot gardening, and others others say only 1 per square foot. I usually plant one of my transplants about every 10 to 12 inches apart. So two rain showers since the sun came up, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it's just cold and overcast here right now. So, but I know ever since this started, the wife and I have been ordering online a whole lot more. One of the places we order from, Azure Standard, we order a lot of their stuff, and it comes in on. I still work at an Air Force base, so I'm still able to shop at the commissary as well. But there's some stuff they don't have in bulk, like most places don't, like gallon jars of coconut oil and stuff like that. So I get that stuff from Azure Standard. But I bet it is. I bet it is a swamp. I don't know how many of you have tried Azure Standard. They do fantastic work. They have always done right by me, and gotten me my stuff. Most of the time there's a link for them. Most of the time they ship to a drop point, and then you have to go to the drop point and pick it up. But if you don't have a drop point near you, they will drop ship straight to your house. It just costs a little bit more in shipping. But they do have a huge selection of food products and cleaning products and all that sort of stuff. Happy ducks and geese, unhappy goats. Exactly right. You know, all that water. I know Mom and Pops are, like I said, in Georgia at Lake Lanier, and Pop said the lake was about 5 feet over its normal level. So, and that was when they got there, and then 2 days afterwards it had dropped a foot, and then the next day it rained and came up 12 inches, or came up 18 inches. So so yeah, they're full-time RVers, so they don't have any animals or anything except for a cat. But I know my mom said she wasn't very anxious to try and get outside. Usually she's kind of, standing by the door wanting to go outside. And Mom said she didn't seem to want to go outside very much. Go figure. All that rain and everything. But I think right now I don't know if we're blessed that we're getting this rain. If we're not blessed that we're getting it, sometimes I worry, that we just don't get enough, and then other times, we get this deluge of water, and I know the deluge of water definitely isn't good. It's not good for our ecosystem as well, because the ground can only hold so much. The goats are walking from rock to rock to avoid getting their feet wet. I don't doubt that at all. They're kind of picky sometimes. I was watching Weed 'em and Reap yesterday, and I was watching one of the back ones when they were flooding the yard, and we were laughing about how the goats all stood out on the edge of the water, and they'd stand right on the edge and just get their feet wet while they were getting a drink, and then they didn't want anything to do with it. All the rest of the animals were out wandering through it, you know. Goats are kind of funny. They're a little picky that way. Well, I know that Mama Z has changed her time for hers this morning, so hers is starting now. So I think today I'll probably cut it a little bit short so that we can all go over and see Mama Z. If if y'all want, and I appreciate y'all stopping in and talking about the craziness, talking about the rain and the weather, but I hope y'all have a blessed day, and I hope y'all enjoy. Get outside if you can, and plant your gardens. Plant them inside while you can. Plant them outside when you can. And fork and allotment, I just pray that you're able to get out to your allotment and take care of it so you don't lose anything. But I appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. And I'll probably see most of y'all over at Mama Z's. So y'all have a good one. No dough, no problem. Just grow. God bless y'all.